Underground city found 6,500 feet under the Giza pyramids. Could the most studied ancient monument on Earth have been hiding its greatest secret in plain sight for 4,500 years? A revolutionary discovery beneath the Giza pyramids is about to change history forever. Hey guys, before starting, we want to let you know that we launched our membership. So if you want to access our content in advance and other advantages, become a member by clicking the join button. With the team, we're working to satisfy you as much as possible through perks. The archaeological world has been turned upside down, or perhaps more accurately, plunged thousands of feet downward. In a stunning announcement that has sent shockwaves through scientific communities worldwide, researchers have detected what appears to be a vast, elaborate city buried beneath the Giza pyramid complex. This isn't simply another chamber or passageway. It's potentially the most significant archaeological discovery of the century. A find so monumental it threatens to completely transform our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. The scale alone is mind-boggling. According to the research team, this underground network extends a staggering 6,500 feet beneath the desert, deeper than the Willis Tower is tall. Imagine an entire underground metropolis hidden for millennia beneath one of the most intensively studied archaeological sites on the planet. This complex appears to consist of multiple levels connected by a sophisticated network of corridors, chambers, and open spaces, all arranged with the same mathematical precision that characterizes the pyramids themselves. Most extraordinary are the 8 vertical cylindrical shafts that plunge like colossal wells through the limestone bedrock. Each measures precisely 12 feet in diameter, about the width of a city bus, and appears to connect different levels of this subterranean labyrinth. These perfect cylinders represent an engineering achievement that would challenge even modern drilling technology. Yet somehow they may have been created with copper tools and stone hammers thousands of years before the invention of steel. What we're seeing defies conventional archaeological understanding, declared Dr. Maria Conti, the visibly stunned lead researcher from the University of Bologna, during the announcement at Cairo's Grand Egyptian Museum. The precision, the scale, the depth, it suggests capabilities we've never imagined possible in ancient Egypt. If confirmed, we're not just adding a footnote to history books, we're rewriting entire chapters. The breakthrough came through an unlikely collaboration between Italian remote sensing specialists and Scottish geophysicists who spent 3 years developing technology specifically designed to see deeper beneath the Giza plateau than ever before. Dr. Conti, a pioneer in archaeological imaging, partnered with Dr. Alistair Fraser from the University of Edinburgh, whose background in deep earth scanning for the petroleum industry brought fresh perspective to archaeological prospection. Their approach combined satellite-based synthetic aperture radar with advanced seismic analysis in ways never before attempted. The team essentially created a 3-dimensional radar net around Giza, processing the massive data stream through custom algorithms designed to distinguish between natural geological features and human-made structures at previously impossible depths. When they unveiled their findings at a hastily organized press conference, the evidence was visually stunning. 3-dimensional renderings showed vast chamber networks eerily similar to modern urban planning, main corridors branching into smaller passages, circular central spaces surrounded by geometric patterns of rooms, and the 8 perfect vertical shafts positioned at what appeared to be mathematically determined intervals. The moment the first complete scan rendered on our screens, the lab went completely silent, recounted Dr. Fraser. We were looking at something that, according to conventional archaeology, simply couldn't exist. One of our team members actually fainted. News of the discovery leaked hours before the official announcement, sending the global archaeological community into a frenzy of speculation. By the time the press conference began, the museum auditorium was packed beyond capacity with journalists, researchers, and government officials, with thousands more watching the live stream that quickly became the most viewed scientific presentation in YouTube history. The revelation has sparked an explosive debate. Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's legendary former antiquities minister, who has spent decades excavating at Giza, initially dismissed the findings as impossible before viewing the data. Hours later, he emerged from a private briefing visibly shaken. "In 60 years of Egyptian archaeology, I've never encountered anything remotely like this," he admitted. If, and I stress if, these structures are confirmed, it would be more significant than the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. Others have responded with a mixture of excitement and professional skepticism. Dr. Sarah Parcak, renowned space archaeologist from the University of Alabama, praised the team's methodology while emphasizing the need for verification. "Conti and Fraser have impeccable credentials and no history of sensationalism. That's precisely why these findings are so extraordinary and why we urgently need physical confirmation." The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities has assembled an unprecedented international verification committee, fast-tracking what would normally be years of bureaucratic process into weeks. Minister Ahmad Rafat announced that preliminary non-invasive verification work has already been authorized, with microcameras and minimal impact core sampling scheduled to begin next month. What makes this discovery particularly revolutionary is how dramatically it contradicts established archaeological understanding. Building structures at such depths would require engineering knowledge and technologies previously thought impossible for Old Kingdom Egypt. The water table alone presents challenges that would demand sophisticated drainage and waterproofing systems millennia before such techniques were believed to exist. If verified, this discovery would force a fundamental reassessment of ancient Egyptian capabilities. Dr. James Harrington from Cambridge University's Department of Archaeological Sciences didn't mince words. "We're potentially facing a paradigm shift comparable to when we discovered the complexity of Göbekli Tepe or the sophistication of Antikythera mechanism. This could be the moment we realize we've underestimated ancient civilizations all along." As news spreads, Giza has become the focus of global attention once again. Satellite images show a growing concentration of scientific equipment and personnel converging on the plateau. Research teams from China, Germany, the United States, and a dozen other nations are rushing specialized equipment to Egypt. Hotel rooms within 50 miles are booked solid for months as archaeologists, geologists, and engineers flock to what would become the most significant excavation site in modern history. The clock is now ticking on verification efforts that could confirm what would be an archaeological bombshell, a discovery that would not just add to our knowledge of ancient Egypt, but fundamentally transform it. Behind every archaeological breakthrough lies a technological revolution, and the discovery beneath Giza represents nothing short of a quantum leap in our ability to peer beneath the Earth's surface. The remarkable detection system developed by Conti and Fraser's team hasn't just pushed boundaries, it has obliterated them, opening up an entirely new dimension of archaeological exploration that was previously confined to science fiction. At the heart of their breakthrough is a radically reimagined application of synthetic aperture radar (SAR) technology. Traditional SAR systems mounted on satellites orbiting Earth emit microwave signals that bounce off the planet's surface and return with data about terrain and structures. But conventional systems can penetrate only meters below the surface, nowhere near the depths required to detect structures thousands of feet underground. We didn't just modify existing SAR technology, we fundamentally transformed it, Dr. Fraser explained during a technical briefing that followed the main announcement. His team developed what they've dubbed Deep Penetrating Synthetic Aperture Radar, DPSAR, which operates at unique frequency combinations previously considered impractical for archaeological applications. We essentially created a new form of radar that trades some resolution for extraordinary depth penetration. The team's approach combined data from 7 different satellite systems, each passing over Giza at different times and angles. Their proprietary integration software synchronized these diverse data streams, filtering out interference and amplifying even the faintest return signals from deep underground structures. The computing power required for this processing was so immense that they partnered with the European Space Agency's Quantum Computing Division to handle the data flow. But SAR technology alone, even in this revolutionary form, couldn't provide the complete picture. The second breakthrough came through integration with ultra-sensitive seismic monitoring. The team deployed a grid of 164 next-generation seismometers across the Giza Plateau. Instruments so sensitive they can detect the gravitational pull of a person walking nearby. The seismometers recorded what we call ambient seismic noise, the constant, tiny vibrations in the earth created by ocean waves, distant earthquakes, and even human activity, explained Dr. Conti. It's like listening to the Earth's whispers. Their AI-driven system then correlated these seismic patterns with the DPSAR data, creating a comprehensive three-dimensional model of what lies beneath the surface. What truly sets this methodology apart is the 360-degree approach the team calls spherical imaging. Rather than scanning from above, they collected data from multiple angles simultaneously, from satellites, ground-based stations, and even sensors temporarily placed inside accessible chambers of the pyramids themselves. Previous attempts to scan beneath Giza were like trying to read a book through a frosted glass, Dr. Fraser said. Our approach is more like illuminating each page from every angle at once, making even the faintest writing visible. If this technology proves as effective as it appears, what other ancient sites around the world might be hiding massive underground complexes we've never detected? Which would you most want researchers to scan next? And what do you think they might find? The contrast with previous technological approaches is stark. Ground-penetrating radar, used since the 1990s, can penetrate only 30 to 40 feet in ideal conditions. Muon radiography, employed in the 2017 Big Void discovery, works somewhat like an X-ray using cosmic particles, but produces low-resolution images and can't effectively scan beyond the pyramid structures themselves. Even electrical resistivity tomography, considered cutting-edge just a few years ago, maxes out at around 300 feet of penetration. Perhaps the most impressive technical achievement was overcoming the significant challenge of the water table. Groundwater typically creates interference that renders deep scanning impossible, as water absorbs and scatters radar signals. The team developed a revolutionary filtering algorithm they call HydroSep that can differentiate between water-related signal distortion and actual structural features. The water table beneath Giza has been archaeology's version of the sound barrier, Dr. Conti noted. Everyone assumed it was impossible to get clear readings beyond it. We didn't just break through that barrier, we shattered it completely. Processing the tsunami of data required computational power previously unheard of in archaeology. The team utilized a custom-built quantum computing system named Thoth, after the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom and writing. This system performed calculations that would have taken conventional supercomputers decades to complete, allowing for real-time adjustment of detection parameters as patterns emerged in the data. The methodology wasn't developed overnight. Fraser and Conti's team spent 3 years refining their approach, initially testing it on known underground structures like the catacombs of Paris and the underground cities of Cappadocia in Turkey. When these tests consistently revealed previously undocumented features that were subsequently confirmed through physical investigation, they knew their system was ready for the ultimate challenge: Giza. The pyramids represent the Mount Everest of archaeological scanning, explained Dr. Elena Vasquez, the team's computational archaeologist. If our system could reveal new structures there, after centuries of intensive study by thousands of researchers, it would prove its value beyond any doubt. The scan itself took 9 months to complete, far longer than conventional archaeological surveys. The team worked primarily at night when thermal conditions were optimal and human activity was minimized. Each section of the plateau was scanned repeatedly from different angles and with different calibrations, generating petabytes of data that had to be transmitted to processing centers in Turin, Edinburgh, and Tokyo. The implications extend far beyond this single discovery, potentially revolutionizing how we investigate archaeological sites worldwide. Dozens of ancient cities known from historical texts but never located could potentially be found using this technology. Underground structures that have remained hidden for millennia might suddenly become visible. Sites previously considered completely excavated might reveal entirely new levels of complexity. Dr. Fraser summed up the magnitude of this technological revolution. What we've developed isn't just a new tool, it's an entirely new sense. We've given archaeology the equivalent of X-ray vision, allowing us to see what has been invisible throughout human history. The Giza discovery might just be the beginning. While the technology behind the Giza discovery has captured imaginations worldwide, the most critical phase is just the beginning. The painstaking process of verification that will determine whether this underground complex truly exists or joins the long list of Egyptian archaeological sensations that ultimately faded under scientific scrutiny. This verification process may be the most complex and high-stakes archaeological investigation in history, with implications that extend far beyond Egyptology to our fundamental understanding of ancient civilizations. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, emphasized Dr. Fatima El-Badri, newly appointed head of the International Verification Committee assembled by the Egyptian government. The remote sensing data is compelling, but until we physically confirm these structures exist, we must maintain scientific caution while proceeding with unprecedented urgency. That urgency is manifested in what's being called Operation Deep Truth, a multi-phase verification plan normally requiring years of planning compressed into months. The first phase, already underway, involves advanced confirmatory scanning using different technologies to corroborate the original findings. Ground-penetrating LiDAR, gravity gradiometry, and electromagnetic induction systems, all calibrated differently from the original detection method, are being deployed to see if they independently detect the same structures. Phase 2, scheduled to begin next month, involves minimally invasive physical investigation. Engineers have designed a revolutionary micro-drilling system capable of creating boreholes just 1.2 inches in diameter, but extending thousands of feet downward. These precision drills will carry fiber optic cameras and atmospheric sampling instruments to potentially provide the first visual confirmation and air quality analysis from the chambers below. If these structures exist as described, we'll expect to find void spaces with atmospheric compositions different from surrounding rock, explained Dr. Nathan Cheng, a geochemist on the verification team. Ancient sealed chambers have distinct gas signatures, effectively a chemical fingerprint of their age. The Verification Committee has established unprecedented transparency protocols. Every aspect of the investigation is being live-streamed to scientific observers worldwide, and all data is being uploaded to a public repository in real time. This radical openness reflects lessons learned from previous controversial discoveries that were undermined by accusations of secrecy or selective data presentation. The historical context makes such caution essential. Egyptian archaeology has seen numerous revolutionary discoveries that later proved far less significant than initially claimed. In 1989, a robotic probe discovered what was heralded as a major secret chamber in the Great Pyramid, generating worldwide headlines before further investigation revealed it to be a small construction gap. The 2017 Big Void detection inside the Great Pyramid, while likely genuine, has been reinterpreted by many experts as a stress-relieving feature rather than a chamber of significance. More dramatic examples include the infamous Tomb of Osiris beneath the Sphinx announced in 1933, which turned out to be a natural cavern with no archaeological significance, and the 1998 Gold City discovered by radar in the Western Desert that proved to be unusual mineral deposits rather than ancient structures. The history of Egyptology is littered with premature announcements and overhyped claims, noted Dr. James Harrington. What makes this case different is the methodological rigor, the technological sophistication, and the team's scientific reputation. If anyone has actually found something of this magnitude, this is exactly how we'd expect it to happen. If verified, the underground complex would force a complete reassessment of ancient Egyptian capabilities that extends far beyond engineering. The organizational capacity required to plan and execute construction at such depths would suggest administrative and logistical systems far more sophisticated than previously attributed to Old Kingdom Egypt. The purpose of such an enormous underground complex would raise fundamental questions about Egyptian cosmology, governance, and resource allocation. We're potentially looking at a civilization that was far more advanced than our current models suggest, explained Dr. Elena Vasquez. Not advanced in the sense of anachronistic technology, but advanced in their mathematical understanding, their architectural vision, and their ability to organize monumental projects. We might just need to reimagine ancient Egypt as more exceptional than we already consider it. Some researchers have already begun speculating about possible purposes for the underground complex. Dr. Ahmad Hassan from Cairo University suggests it might represent a physical manifestation of the Egyptian underworld duat, a literal construction of what was previously thought to be purely mythological. Others propose more practical functions: climate-controlled storage for agricultural surplus, ceremonial spaces protected from the desert heat, or even administrative centers for managing the massive workforce required for pyramid construction. The verification timeline remains uncertain. Under ideal conditions, preliminary physical confirmation could come within 6 months, but comprehensive mapping and understanding could require decades of careful investigation. The Egyptian government has already begun preparing for the possibility of confirmation, drafting plans for a major new museum and research center dedicated specifically to the underground complex. Global interest has reached levels not seen since the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb a century ago. Tourism bookings to Egypt have surged 300%. Documentary crews from 27 countries have applied for filming permits, and the phrase Giza underground has become the most searched term on the internet. Universities worldwide are launching new programs in Egyptian archaeology as student interest skyrockets. Yet amid this excitement, the scientific community continues to emphasize the possibility that the findings may be misinterpreted. Natural limestone formations can create highly organized patterns that mimic artificial structures. The depth of the alleged complex pushes the boundaries of what seems technologically possible for ancient civilizations, and the water table issues alone would have required engineering solutions not previously documented in ancient Egypt. Dr. Conti herself remains balanced between excitement and caution. We stand at a moment of incredible possibility. Either we've discovered something that transforms our understanding of ancient civilization, or we've reached the limits of remote sensing technology and misinterpreted the data. Both possibilities advance science, one by revealing the past, the other by showing us the limitations of our tools. As verification efforts continue day and night beneath the watchful gaze of the pyramids, the world waits to learn whether history's greatest archaeological announcement will become history's greatest confirmed discovery, or join the long list of Giza's unconfirmed mysteries. Whatever the outcome, this moment represents a watershed in archaeological investigation, demonstrating humanity's enduring fascination with our ancient past and our technological ingenuity in uncovering its secrets. The discovery process itself, regardless of outcome, reminds us why archaeology continues to captivate our imagination. It connects us directly with our human ancestors, revealing their achievements, their challenges, and their understanding of the world. Whether separated by 4,500 years or just a few generations, the human drive to create, to build, and to understand remains our most profound connection across time. If you've been fascinated by this potential discovery beneath the Giza pyramids, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay updated on the verification process as it unfolds. We'll be covering every development in this extraordinary story. Which ancient mystery would you like us to explore next? Let us know in the comments below, and watch our next videos on the end screens.